What is going on, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zeri from the XMG, coming at you today to bring you the Noob series for Thalanne. And, you know, I ended up reshooting this. I had it ready to go, and I ended up reshooting it. She tears me up, and I think I was unjustly harsh the first time around, so I reshot it. But before we get into that, if you're just finding me for the first time and you're liking what you're seeing, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We are shooting for the goal of 1,000 subs, and we are almost there. Like 60 something away. So that's awesome. So when we hit that goal, we will have a giveaway. Just a little token of my appreciation at the 1,000 sub mark on a live stream. So yeah, let's jump right into Thalanne for noobs. Alright, so here we are. Thalanne, or I've heard it Thalanne, is an elf tactician, rogue, bounty hunter, and a leader. Now, I was able to unlock her in the live stream, so that was cool. But I'm not going to be able to use her right away, and we will get into a little bit about that, you know, as we go. And you know, there's some drawbacks to this character, and there's some really good things about this character, which we're going to break down. But as we always do, let's jump into the stats and see where we're at. She's a physical damage dealer, and she comes in at 3372. That is the first best in the game for starting physical damage. So she's built to be a damage dealer. Critical chance is at 41.26%. Again, the first best in the game. So that is definitely huge, you know, for her kit and her as a damage dealer. So that is cool. Health, she comes in at 21,106 and shield at 30,328. So combined health and shield 51,000. Not terrible, not bad at all. Her health is only 26th best in the game, so that is like very middle of the road. But her shield is 8th best in the game, so that really helps her out and maintains her survivability, so that is pretty cool. Magical and physical armor, both coming in at 33%, and her magic armor is 18th best in the game, so a little bit above middle of the road, and her magic armor is 24th, so again, middle of the road right there. Not seeing much there. Speed is at 160, giving her the 5th best starting speed in the game. Potency is at 12% though, and that is the 8th worst in the game to start. Tenacity coming in at 31% is right middle of the dead pack. So what did we learn from her stats? We learned that she is fast, that she can pump out the physical damage. Her potency is absolutely crap, and hopefully it doesn't play into her move kit, but her critical chance is through the roof, and she is over 50k health and protection, so that is a plus to start. And physical damage dealers are normally on the slow end, you know, the melee people like Eric's Shield Breaker, things like that, and she isn't. She is fast. So let's get into her move kit and break it down. Starting with her A1 here, deals 250 physical damage to an enemy and dazes the enemy for 2 turns. So first move, we see physical damage and the dreaded potency, only having to go through one of the potency tenacity checks. But dazing somebody on your basic for 2 turns is really, really good. A2, Shadow Strike, deals 440 physical damage to an enemy, inflicts heal block, and applies buff immunity for 2 turns. So again, we're seeing that woeful 12% potency come into play. I mean, but 440 physical damage is awesome. And, you know, healing block and buff immunity, in my opinion, are the worst 2 debuffs you can receive in the game. So, Shadow Strike, only going through one of the potency tenacity checks, but still needs that potency. Blade Fury deals 270 of physical damage to all enemies. If enemies receive damage, inflicts ability block on them for 1 turn. So 270 physical damage on an AoE, and as long as it lands in any capacity, and you pass the potency tenacity check, you inflict healing block. So again, we see physical damage and potency. Her passive ability, Hatred, debuffing an enemy increases the turn meter by 20%. So on her AoE, if she debuffs all of them, she gets to go again. So she's feeding herself turn meter on a very fast character, which is really cool. And an additional 4% for each debuff Thalanne applied this turn. So let's say she debuffs 4, she gets 80% turn meter, and she puts on 1 buff apiece. So that would be 80% on the people she buffed, and then an additional 16%, so it'd be 96% total turn meter she'd be getting back. So really, really cool character. And then her leadership ability increases the critical chance of all allied elves by 30%. Recovers 15% of their turn meter upon landing a critical hit, and has a 50% chance to restore 1 turn of a random ability. Okay, so this leadership ability is better than Nightingale's, but not by much. Not by much. Still very underwhelming in my opinion. But the fact of the matter is that you're getting more critical chance, and then you recover 15% of their turn meter on critical hit. So you can really go, you can add speed essentially too, if you stock crit chance with everybody. So what did we learn about Thalanne and her move kit? She needs physical damage. She's feeding herself turn meter, but she needs potency. And, you know, coming in 8th worst at the game at 12, she needs a lot of potency. So that is one area where you think, you know, we need to focus. So let's jump into runes. Alright, so we're talking about runes here, and what do we do? There's so many different ways to rune this character, and you can make a case for all of them. You could go speed and potency and just make her even more fast, I mean insanely fast. You could go damage and potency, just increasing that physical damage. Now I do believe you have to put a potency set on her. Or you could go, you know, some survivability with potency. You could go double potency sets with a health. You could go double potency sets with some crit chance, because since she does rely heavily on the crit chance, that wouldn't be a bad way to go. So I tested them all. Having her go fast is really, really helps your team and is very, very viable, but I found that I just wasn't getting the debuffs to stick on a consistent basis that I want. I mean, her move kit has some of the best debuffs in the game. Healing immunity, daze, buff immunity. So she has some of the best debuffs in the game, and I wasn't getting them to land on a consistent basis. Then I tried damage and potency, and again, she hit like a truck. I mean, she was just murdering people, but again, I couldn't get those dazes to land. And her daze can shut down demons. They can shut down goblins. So it was frustrating because I couldn't get the debuffs to land. And it's not like I'm one-shotting characters, so pretty close sometimes. But the way I ruined her and the way I felt I got the most out of her move kit, and it might not be the best way to ruin her, but as I went 2 potencies and some crit chance, she started landing her debuffs on a regular basis, but then I was losing something in the speed aspect. I wasn't going first, and teams were getting out in front of me, but again, I was using 2-dot runes, so that can be compensated for. Now, things I'm looking for in the secondary stats is critical chance, damage, potency, speed, you know, top 4. And then anything survivability is a plus after that. So let me rune her to where I had her, and I will be right back. Alright, full rune amulet went 2 sets of potency and a critical chance. And again, I was looking for damage, speed, potency, critical chance. So here we go. We have, you know, damage primary in the northern rune, speed, potency, shield, and damage. Went for speed in the northeastern rune, crit chance, damage, tenacity, and some armor. Armor, obviously, in the southeastern rune with crit chance, speed, armor, and some potency. Now, I went for the crit damage primary in the southern rune, and you could easily go crit chance here. You could just go flat damage. But I found that putting crit damage here is because she does have one of the best crit chances in the game to start. the best crit chance in the game to start. And then, putting more crit chance on her. I wanted that crit damage there. And then I went with shield, health, speed, and then a little damage. Now you could go health or shield here. Neither one really play into her kit, but her health is so woeful. I went with health there. But you could really go with whatever gets you the most primaries. Then I went with damage, armor, health, and potency. And then I obviously went for the potency primary in the Northwestern with critical chance, health, shield, and damage. So let's take a look at her stats after we ruin her and see what happened. Alright, we brought up her physical damage 181 to 3553. So anything you really give her to start is great. I mean, she has the best physical damage to start, so anything on top of that's just the cherry. Critical chance is over 50% now, so super happy with that. Then her crit damage, we brought up that 24, so she's going to be hitting harder on top of her crits, so that is plus. Her health, we brought up 1119 to 22,225, and her shield, we brought up 948, so we improved that, close to 54k. Armor, we brought up a little bit on each side, so nothing really crazy there. Speed, we brought up 26, so she's at 186 off of 2-dot runes, so not bad, and I could probably maximize speed more in the secondary stats, but I really wanted to focus on potency. And, we brought up her potency 50% to 62.82%, and that is way, way better. It might even be just a touch too much. I could have maybe sacrificed, maybe went one set, but I still felt that she feeds herself so much turn meter on her debuff she puts out that having more potency would still be good. So we're going to talk about scroll sync, and the place to start with scroll syncing, like we always talk about, is let's think about how we're going to use her. She's our leader. You want to get her leadership ability up, but she offers a lot more than just being a leadership, and we'll start there. Dirty Trick, first ability, 120 physical damage, 30% chance to land daze. Now, as you go up, 40% chance, more physical damage, and more daze chance. Now, it's not till level 6 where you get the only one potency tenacity check. So maybe if you get her maxed out all the way across the board on her abilities, you could drop one of the potency sets and maybe go to a damage potency or to a speed potency set. But definitely if you don't have her abilities at level 6, you definitely want more potency on this character. So here we are at level 2 on Shadow Strike, 160 physical damage and a 50% chance to inflict heal block. Then you inflict heal block for 2 turns. Then at level 4 you get the 50% chance for buff immunity. Then you inflict buff immunity, and then you get more physical damage. Blade Fury, 115 physical damage to all enemies. All enemies, more physical, more physical, more physical, and then you get the ability block at level 6. Then her Hatred, debuffing an enemy increases turn meter by 8%, 12%, 16, 20, and then you get the additional 4% for each debuff applied. Then her Leadership ability increases crit chance by 15% for Elves, recovers 5% of their turn meter on a critical hit. Then we get crit chance, turn meter, crit chance, turn meter, and then at level 6, the random ability. So we got a lot going on with this kit, and it's big. So how are we going to scroll sync her? Is obviously if you want her with the leader, you're going to take her leadership. You want to get her leadership up to level 6. I mean, her leadership's nice at level 5, but the 50% chance to restore a random ability can really, really help your squad out. So if you took this to level 5 and left it there, there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're using her as a leader, get that up there. So let's take her leadership out of the equation, and let's just say her leadership was 6. Where are you going to go from there? You got some options, because her basic ability at level 2, 30% chance to daze, and you're not getting the whole thing till 6. So I would take it up to level 3 and leave it. You get a 40% chance to daze. Blue scroll investment is minimal, because her other 2 moves here are definitely more beneficial. So at level 2, we got the 50% chance to heal block. You want to get this to level 4. Okay? Because you want that chance, at least the chance for buff immunity. So you went, took her basic just to level 3. You're taking her what the hell is it called? Her Shadow Strike to level 4. Stopping there. and then her Blade Fury you're going to take right to level 6. You want that ability block to go on, or the chance for it to go on, so you're going to take that right to level 6. Then you are going to come to her Shadow Strike and take that to level 6, her basic and level 6, and then you're going to come to her passive. So debuffing an enemy increases turn meter by 8%. That's a good place to leave it. No blue scroll investment, just leave it there for now. And then once you finish off everything else, you come back to her passive. You know, it is a good passive for her based on her move kit. You know, nothing wrong with that. So now we come to my overall thoughts and feelings on Thalanne. Popping up on your screen is my tier list. And she tears me up. She could be really good, and she is really good. But I have her as a rare. And this might surprise some people because she could be a legendary, but the fact that she has no potency to start, and her move kit is based on pretty much all potency, it leaves you with too many decisions on ruining her and where to put her. And her leadership doesn't change the elf faction. For, in my opinion, for that elf team under her lead, you need Count Delman, who's extremely hard to get. She's extremely hard to get. So she is nothing less than a rare. She is not uncommon. She is not common. She is not trash. She is a high-end rare, borderline legendary, but she's still missing something in my opinion. I mean, 12 potency on a move kit that just is nothing but potency. It's just frustrating. Now, she is going to be a huge proponent of artifacts. You can get an artifact with potency. Oh, good God. I mean, you can just put one potency set on with a potency primary in that Northwestern, and you don't have to worry about it. So, you know, once artifacts drops, it's going to bring a whole different level to this equation. You know, she just brings so much to the table as far as debuffing, and it just hurts me and saddens me to see such a low potency. I mean, make her a little slower, give her some more potency, I don't know. I mean, she's super fast, she can do some damage, she is really, really good character. But for me, the lack of potency, how to ruin her, you know, and her leadership ability just puts her at a rare. Now, in some of the battles, you're going to see me get slaughtered because I'm using 2-dot runes. Her elf team is ungodly dependent on superior runes. If she is faster than your opponent, you know, you win. Mirror matches, it's all going to come down to speed. She is your prototypical character where you need speed. You need as much speed as you can get, but you also need potency to maximize your move kit. It's, you know, running 2-dot runes against the top 3 on the test server who have all crazy runes. I just got slaughtered, and, you know, and to do these fairly, I have to use the 2-dot runes. But, you know, I was able to put on some higher runes, and I was able to accomplish it, but it just is the fact that, you know, the team squad for her, you know, does need Count Delman, in my opinion, to be anywhat effective. She doesn't change the overall viability of elves. They're still not very good, in my opinion. I mean, they can be run, and if you have a Gear 11 Count Delman, and you have a Gear 11 Thalanne, you have a Gear 11 Nightingale, you have a Gear 11 Kelrin, and then you could put in Sharp for the critical chance increase. You could put in the Failure, you know, for poison and some other debuffs, and it's just, I don't see, to me, she's not going to be changing the meta because of the rarity of the team you're going to need to put around her and the amount of mods or runes. Haven't done that in a long time. The amount of runes you're going to need for her. It's a balancing act. So it is a very frustrating team to get working, in my opinion. But she's still a really good character. And if you got her and you can use her, I mean, you run up against the Thalanne team in Battlegrounds, even if it's not ruined properly and you're going to try to take in, like, you know, say it's their 3rd or 4th team and you're taking in your 3rd or 4th team, it's going to be hard for you to get around. unless you just completely woefully destroy them in gear and things like that. But say it's even, she brings good things to the table. It's just I'm not dropping everything I'm doing right now to work on her. And you might say, well, you just gave Kiri a legendary. And I did, and I still think she is a legendary. If you gave me the choice of a Thalanne or a Kiri at this point, I would take Kiri. Starting brand new, I would take Kiri. Demons are more accessible, and they're a way better team overall than Elves. And that is just my opinion. But she is a really cool character. And if they got just something else, the Elves, I still think they need a viable leadership. I really do. And you know what? There's probably people out there who will prove me wrong and destroy me on that fact, but that's where we're at. All right, everybody, that's what I got for you on Thalanne. And I'm not a negative character, trying to be negative on her. It's just, still think she's missing something. And the fact that she pulls you in so many different directions on her ruining options just is kind of frustrating. The team you have to build around her is, very hard. And the overall runes need to be spot on and extremely maxed out, in my opinion. But again, it's a very cool character, very fun to play around with, and can do some crazy damage. She can really, really do some crazy damage. So, with that being said, again, if you're just finding me for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It means more to me than you know. And for all you XMG family members out there, I love you all. Thank you for the support. Thank you for a very, very fun live stream to unlock this character. I had a lot of fun. I am growing to love those live streams more and more and more every single time we do them. So, with that being said, I love you guys. I'll see you all in the next one. I'm out.